Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be going over 9 more fun and broken builds for you guys to use. A couple people asked me for different builds that can make the game easier, so we're going to jump into several of them now, and a couple change-ups of builds I've done before that makes them better and more universal for you to use. I can't wait to jump into this one. For the first one, we have a Gargoyle Roar build. This is going to be absolutely insane. I believe this actually does pierce damage with the Roar, which is really cool too. So if you wanted to add the Spear Talisman, you could do that. I can't remember when I ran it or not. I'll go over it in equipment. But yeah, it's going to do awesome damage with charge attacks on this. We are a complete and full strength build here, going for heavy physical damage. By the way, if you're wondering about build requests, I'm actually doing 3 videos ahead of Night Rain this week. So it's going to be this video for some broken builds. And then on Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to try to do some build requests. If you have any more, comment them below. And then the high-level builds next Sunday. Let's jump into this. We have the Gargoyle's Heavy Twin Blade plus 25, preferably with Braggart's Roar. We're using the Highland Axe for the passive. Any seal for buffs, part of the Rakshasa set. Two-handed Sword Talisman, Spear Talisman, I guess I did have it. Axe Talisman, Roar Medallion. For our tiers, we got the Spike Crack tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats for this build. For our stats, we have 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, 25 Endurance, 66 Strength. It's going to be 99 when you two-hand this, 15 Dexterity, 25 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength, and Blessings Boon. And next up here, we have a build for the Great Club. The Great Club is a really fun weapon. Haven't covered this one in a while. Does a ton of physical damage. We're going to buff it up here using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength. Now, Blood Boil Aromatic will actually be better in Hellish Fury if you have the stats for it. And then Blessings Boon. We're going to go, of course, mainly here for charged attacks. Not going to worry too much of the Ash of War on this one. I built around the Ash of War before. This is just going for charge hits and that ridiculous amount of poise damage you get with this beast of a weapon. I mean, check this out. The amount of physical damage is absolutely insane. We're able to smash the Draconic Tree Sentinel on New Game Plus 3 Journey 4. It's incredible. You can beat up a lot of bosses with this one. I highly recommend checking out the Great Club. If you've never checked out this weapon before, it's phenomenal. It's really an awesome and incredibly fun weapon. We have the Great Club plus 25, preferably any seal for buffs. That helm will give you plus 2 faith, and then we have the Tree Sentinel armor on. Two-handed Sword Talisman, Axe Talisman. We have the Blade of Mercy Talisman for those poise breaks. Arsenal Charms plus 1 or Great Charge Arsenal if you have it. Bloodsucking Crack tier, Spike Crack tier. Now for stats. 60 Vigor, 17 Mind, 33 Endurance, 66 Strength. Again, 99 when you two-hand this. 12 Dexterity, 25 Faith. Our buffs are Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength, and Blessings Boon. Next one up, I wanted to try something different with the Black Steel Greathammer. Apparently, you could put Wild Strikes on this, so I decided to do this in Blood Affinity. I built around I almost forgot what it was called, the Rusted Anchor before, and of course that's pierce damage, so it's going to be a little bit better for a lot of people, but this absolutely smashes with Wild Strikes and Blood Affinity. It's actually incredible. You get, I believe, over 700 AR in Blood Affinity or something like that. It's really cool. It gives you a lot of poise damage too, so you get a decent amount of opportunities to break bosses as well. Go for charged hits, jump attacks, and then when you break a boss, instead of going for that critical break, you can then start your Wild Strikes for massive damage. You can see it here. We're going to stack up. Let's see how much. We were able to stack up 37,000 damage. It's pretty good there. She doesn't have much HP left. This goes on for a couple seconds more than it should because she does a couple extra moves here. But overall, this is going to be an awesome build with the Black Steel Greathammer that could do a lot of damage too. And here she goes. She's going to do one more move here, and then we are going to take her out with Wild Strikes, of course. There's another Blood proc, but she's long gone by then. Even if you're on New Game Plus 7, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage with a build like this one. Second, we're going to go over equipment stats, everything you need to know. We have the Blood Black Steel Greathammer plus 25, preferably with Wild Strikes. We're using the Dragon Communion Seal. We have the Grey Bird chest piece on, 52 poise. Shard of Alexander, Melissen's Prosthesis, Wingsword Insignia, or Rotten Wingsword Insignia is better if you have it. Lord of Blood's Exaltation, you can add the White Mask to this build. Authority tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Now for stats, we have 55 Vigor, 18 Mind, 25 Endurance. 40 Strength is going to be 60 when you two-hand this, 45 Arcane, 25 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Me Strength, and Blessings Boon. And here's one of 2 change-ups that I made for this video, and that's going to be the bubble build. So the bubbles are a lot weaker than they used to be. They're not as potent as they once were. They used to do a ton of poise damage and also more damage in general. So for this, we decided to take advantage of the Great Hammer class and split our stats up a bit to turn this into a Strength and Faith build, rather than just going for Faith and the minimum Strength so we could use the Ash of War. This way we can get in powerful charge attacks, jump attacks, all that, and a decent amount of poise damage that the Greathammer class will allow you to get because it is really good for breaking bosses. So the Hippo could be kind of tough here. I struggle with him at times because he's got some range where, like, if you're not, I mean, that time I should have taken a hit. But a lot of times if you're behind him, you get hit anyway, so it could be a little bit difficult. But there's the poise break, and then you could go for some bubble damage. As you can see, it doesn't quite do what it used to do, but we're not building out of, like, building up for, like, a ridiculous amount of faith here. We're going for 60 faith, 34 strength. When we two-hand the weapon, we're going to have over 50. So it's very much split, going to give you around 850 or so AR with the weapon, and a decent split between holy and physical damage, and allow you to take advantage of the charge attacks, which, believe it or not, on the Envoy's Longhorn is actually pretty good. In terms of poise damage and the physical damage you can get, you can see 4,700 damage there. You're going to be able to take advantage of this weapon, get some breaks, use the Ash of War, and hopefully have a lot of fun in the process. Previously, whenever I've covered this weapon, I've only built around the bubbles. This time I decided to build around this in a different way, so you can, instead of spamming the Ash of War, go for a whole bunch of charge attacks, jump attacks, everything you need to do in a fight to win it instead of hitting one button. So it's going to be awesome. Of course, you can run the Gravebird chest piece or the Raptor's Black Feathers for increased jump attack damage. That would be good for a build like this one. I just wanted to wear some different armors throughout this video so you didn't have to stare at the same thing the entire time. For this, we have the Envoy's Longhorn plus 10. We have the Erdtree Seal. You can throw in incantations if you want. You can check out the armor set here. That helm gives you +2 faith. Shard of Alexander, Axe Talisman. We have the two-handed sword talisman. We have the Sacred Scorpion Charm. For our tiers, we have the Holy tier, Blood-Sucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats for this one. And we have 55 Vigor, 22 Mind. We have 25 Endurance, 34 Strength, over 50 when you two-hand this. We have 62 Faith and 15 Dexterity, 65 Poise here, Golden Vow, Halashaburi, and Blessing's Boon. And I told you I changed 2 to make it better. Here's a Blasphemous Blade build that, much like the last one, it's going to allow you to do charge attacks, jump attacks, not just build around the Ash of War again. Similar stats. I believe I might have used the same stats for both of these. A couple people asked me about the Blasphemous Blade in the past, that they don't like spamming the Ash of War. So in this case, we're not going to be spamming the Ash of War. We're going to use it, but we're also going to use charge attacks and jump attacks because, believe it or not, with this setup, you can get around 900 AR, and the weapon is actually decent for poise damage. It's not as good as the Envoy's Longhorn because it's not the Greathammer class good, but it still is decent for breaking bosses, and then, of course, taking advantage of that by using the Ash of War afterwards or going for critical breaks. Yeah, sometimes it's a choice whether you go for the critical hit or not. The critical hit in some instances is going to be a little bit less than what you can do with, say, this Ash of War, or if you're using Wild Strikes like I was before. There you go, you're probably 9,000 damage there. You're probably going to get more by hitting there. And then I got an extra hit in, so it was 13,000 damage. I don't think I would have got that much from a critical hit. Anyways, this is how it works with this Blasphemous Blade build. A little bit different than how I've built around this previously. Hope you guys enjoy this. I wanted to do a broken builds, as I mentioned, before Night Rain's DLC comes out on the 3rd, 4th, around there. Looking forward to that. Going to be covering that for a month when it comes out. We have the Blasphemous Blade plus 10. We have the Giant Seal. You can check out the armor set here. We hit 56 poise for this build. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the Axe Talisman. We have the two-handed sword talisman. Of course, we're going to be two-handing this pretty much all the time. Talisman of the Dread. We faded the Fire Scorpion Charm. Flame tier, Blood-Sucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 55 Vigor, 22 Mind, 25 Endurance, 34 Strength, so over 50 when you two-hand this, 60 Faith, 15 Dexterity, Golden Vow, Halashaburi, and Blessing's Boon. And next up we have is a Great Stars Roar build. This is a really cool one because the Great Stars, when you use a Roar on it, does a ridiculous amount of poise damage because, again, as part of that Greathammer class, you're going to see a theme there with the Great Hammers and regular hammers. They're one of the best ways to still break bosses in Elden Ring. I absolutely love this class for the purpose of breaking bosses. It's excellent for that. Of course, here we went for Blood Affinity. We're not going for full strength like the Gargoyle one, where you can get some seemingly pierce damage and high physical damage. Here we're going for bleed procs, in between, of course, going for breaks as well. That's the two things that we're going to be going for here, is breaking the boss, and then, of course, trying to get those bleed procs. Now, the Magmorum's decently resistant to bleed overall, but still, you'll get bleed procs on a lot of bosses. 2 times bonus on roars, by the way, so you get double the bleed amount, and of course a ton of poise damage. Let's jump into equipment for this one. And we have the Blood Great Stars, plus 25, preferably Braggart's where we have the Highland Axe for the passive. We have the Dragon Communion Seal. We are using a random set of armor on. You can check it out here. Don't forget you can slow this down on YouTube side, 53 poise. Roar Medallion, Axe Talisman, Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Again, you could add the White Mask. I just don't wear it myself. Spike Crack Tier, Blood Sucking Crack Tier. For stats, we have 55 Vigor, 18 Mind, 25 Endurance. 40 Strength's going to be 60 when you two-hand this. 45 Arcane, 25 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Strength, and Blessing Spoon. This was actually a requested one from a long time ago. Somebody asked me to look at the Scavengers and run it as Blood and Poison. Decided to do that here. Make a Poison and Blood build. This is a pretty cool one in terms of fun because for the Blood part of it, I get to use my favorite Ash of War and Blood Blade. For the Poison part, we're going to have the Poison Coat on the weapon, of course, too, with Poisonous Mist, so that's cool. You can get a decent amount of poison damage in general from this, but mainly you're going to proc Kindred of Rot's Exaltation and Lord of Blood's Exaltation, which is going to give you more power, more jump attack damage, and more damage for Blood Blade. We're not running the Shard of Alexander for it, but you can still get a lot of damage with the Ash of War, of course, because we're getting around 40% if we're able to proc Lord of Blood's Exaltation as well as Kindred's. Of course, Kindred's going to take a little bit longer, especially against Moke here because he's much more vulnerable to bleed. But still, I believe at the end here we do get the poison proc. There it is right there. You can see the green. Overall, pretty cool build to run this way. You have Blood Blade that you could run around with. Use a really fun Ash of War for the blood part of it. You can do jump attacks for really good damage. And of course, you could poison the bosses too. If you want to go for the dual move set besides jump attacks, that also works really well as well. This is a really fun one to build around the Scavs and take advantage of the powerful damage that they have in Occult Affinity and Poison Affinity here. First one's in Occult Affinity with Blood Blade. Second is in Poison Affinity. Plus 25 preferably, Dragon Communion Seal. White Mask here. For this build, I wanted to add the damage. Greybird Chest Piece. Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Kindred of Rot's Exaltation. Mentioned those already. Claw Talisman, Melissen's Prosthesis. We have the Blood Sucking Crack tier, Thorny tier. We're using Moke Shackle to stun the boss. For stats, we have 55 Vigor, 16 Mind, 26 Endurance, 13 Strength, 40 Dexterity, 25 Faith. We have 50 Arcane. For our buffs, we're using Golden Vow, Flame Grip Strength, and Blessing Spoon. And next up here, we have a Magic Dragon build. Yeah, I called it Magic Dragon build. This is a really cool one because we're not using Halastraburi. If you add a higher level and you add Halastraburi, you get even more damage, but we're not going to take increased damage here, so that's cool. We're going to be using Terra Magica instead, and then boosting Dragon Ice as well as Glintstone Breath because they do pure magic damage. And of course, with Terra Magica, that's going to boost it by another 20-25%, whatever it is now after it got nerfed. I know it's not what it used to be, but still, it's pretty awesome to run this build. Made a mistake there early on. We're going to try the Dragon Ice first, see how much damage we get. Around 16,000, so not bad at all. If you're running this with Terra Magica, you can absolutely make this work, and you can crush some bosses with this too. If you're at a higher level, and I'm going to do high-level builds in a week, I might actually check this one out for that, because if you add Halastraburi, your damage is going to be insane if you run Terra Magica with that. And then we have the, I believe it's the Albinaric, or however you say it, staff, and that one's going to scale with Arcane too, so you actually get, if you go to plus 25, around 290 or so scaling, so that's not bad on the staff either if you're at a high level. Again, I'm a little bit, constrained because I'm at 150 here. This is one of those builds that's going to be absolutely ridiculous if you're over 200, and at 150, it's a little tight, but you can make it work because we do typically need 3 stats. We need our buffs with Faith, we need a little bit of Intelligence, and then we need Arcane. We have the Albinaric staff, plus 25 preferably. I ran the Great Katana on Occult with Giant Hunt, but didn't really use it. 2 Dragon Communion Seals. That helm will give you plus 2 Faith. I mentioned that before. 59 Poise. We have Roar Medallion. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm, of course. And we have Flock's Canvas Talisman. We are using the Shard of Alexander if you switch to the Great Katana. Blood Sucking Crack tier, Magic tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 55 Vigor, 22 Mind, 26 Endurance, 15 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 20 Intelligence, 25 Faith, 50 Arcane, Terra Magica, Dragon Ice, Glintstone Breath, Ghost Flame Breath, Golden Vow, Blessing Spoon. Next up here, we have a Milady tank build. This is the last one on here. I did a similar build. I was about to say something else, but I did a similar build with this with charge attacks. This one's a little bit different. Goes for spinning weapon and then using the weapon's light move set. And then, of course, going for a decent set of armor along with Black Flame's protection. So you can get really good damage with this one. But on top of that, you're able to take a ton of hits with this as well. This is a really good, well-rounded build that can absolutely carry you in a lot of boss fights. All right, I want to talk about something before the end because at the end I never have enough time. I'll say a couple things, might repeat myself because I do that. But anyway, at the end I'll probably mention some stuff, just summarize it real quick. Overall here, if you have any more build requests, be sure to comment below. I've done a few of them already. I'm going to do a build request video probably for Thanksgiving. I can't guarantee anything, but I am trying for that. And then the high-level builds will be this upcoming Sunday. After that, I will be covering Elden Ring Night Rain for a month after around the 3rd or 4th when the mini DLC comes out. Probably won't go back to regular Elden Ring until January. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from that to cover Night Rain with the mini DLC coming out. So if you have any build requests, be sure to comment. If they don't make it this Thursday's video, though, or if they're high-level ones, they could make it for Sunday, then I probably won't be doing them again for about a month's time. Because after the high-level builds are done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start warming up for Night Rain again. If you want to join the Discord, I'm on PC. Probably going to play with some people on there for sure. And then I want to get back into that for a while to change up things and play something different. I'm looking forward to that. Doing some different character builds and whatnot. Kind of warming up for it because I haven't played it in over a month now. And checking it out again. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope they add a decent amount to it. I know it's not a ton, but hopefully it's good. We have the Cold Milady plus 25 preferably spinning weapon. And a seal for buffs. You can check out the armor set, 70 poise here. Shard of Alexander, two-handed sword talisman. Ballistin's prosthesis. Wing sword insignia or rotten wing sword insignia is better if you have it. Dragon crest is also good for this build. Thorny tier, bloodsuck crack tier. For stats, we have 60 vigor, 20 mind, 30 endurance, 15 strength, 50 dexterity, 20 intelligence, 30 faith. We're using Golden Vow, Black Flame's protection, and Blessing Spoon. And thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning in to my top 9 fun and broken builds. I wanted to do some broken builds before I cover Night Rain's DLC for like a month or so. And of course, I'm going to be doing build requests for Thanksgiving. If you have any more, I have a couple more I can squeeze in, so be sure to comment those below. Don't forget to sub if you love Elden Ring and if you're looking forward to Night Rain content. If you have any requests for high-level builds, be sure to comment them too. Of course, as I mentioned, probably going to take a break for around a month or so to play Night Rain after the mini DLC comes out. Looking forward to it. Catch you in the next one.